Welcome back, folks. This is the Marketplace Reset Show and JumpStart Economy here on WSDX and live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on our website at jumpstarteconomy.us. Also live on La Mega Mundial, our Spanish broadcasting platform, as well as rebroadcasting on Tempo Networks, which is cable television, on your local cable provider. I'm Anthony Weeks, and I'm joined by my colleague Brian Phillip. Brian, I don't know. I figured I'd mention this to you, but I bet you don't know you're using the camera on your computer, because there's a difference between the camera you had the last time and the camera and the camera now. And I guarantee you that you're using the camera on the computer.
You are correct, because I left the other camera at my office and I'm at home today. So that's
that I could tell by the difference in quality. But the conversation with Victor Holt, and you know, I was really hoping that we could have do a deep dive in the technology part of it, but you know, we'll have an opportunity to do that. I was keenly interested in because you hear people talk about the issue of security. You know, obviously shopping online, doing business online. Now you take your medical patient care online, and
Correct.
Whether or not that is something that we can address, or at least have a conversation where things are within that space concerning technology. What's your take? I mean, obviously you're in the technology space, the insurance space. What are you hearing in terms of what are the insurance providers saying? What are the patients saying? What are the doctors saying? Obviously you have telehealth providers that we're working with. What's the consensus on your end?
Well, I think that the consumers are actually pretty trusting, right? They trust their docs and the different services. There are the HIPAA rules, and certainly there are the HIPAA compliant portals that the different medical practices, as well as our telemedicine platforms run on. So as far as keeping things secure, I think people are pretty comfortable with that. I do think that he made a great point about it's really, will the medical community adapt to the needs of the marketplace in that realm? I mean, so I know certainly in our case with SureUp, when we talk about subscription-based telemedicine and the access that we have for folks, which is different than having telemedicine through a traditional channel, because you have it unlimited and with no copays. But what's coming down the pike is that virtual primary care, and some of the things that sound futuristic that were being talked about in the last segment, that technology does exist. And certainly I can share with you that some of that technology is on the docket for future release here at SureUp. So it's pretty exciting. I can't share more than that at this point.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. A lot of what we're talking about is new, uncharted territory for everybody. Everybody talks about the new norm, right? And so it's a new normal in this environment. And so the role that we're seeing, how technology has been thrust to the forefront of how entities, whether it's the government or the private sector, are dealing with the pandemic. And so and we're seeing that in some of the casualty of businesses. It just seems like the technology-based businesses seem to be weathering this hardship that we're seeing that businesses are being confronted with. Terry, thanks for switching over to the second segment. I wanted to kind of continue on the path of the path of how important technology is, for small business. For me, it's going to be paramount.
Right.
It's always been paramount, but small businesses and local mom and pop businesses have kind of resisted it for some reason. They didn't really jump all on board with it, totally embrace it. But I don't think it's a choice anymore, right? Colleagues, I don't think they're going to have a choice. I think somebody said either you get online to do business or you're going to be out of business.
Yeah.
Terry, what do you say?
That's pretty much the case, especially now. One of the things that we saw a lot of Amazon, went through the roof. Walmart even jumped on the platform even deeper because now you can actually purchase, you can actually set up meetings. Zoom is on a whole nother level. So you're going to have to embrace the technology, or like you said, be out of business. A lot of businesses, especially mom and pops, the bodegas, the hair salons, and stuff like that, they resisted because they didn't really understand how important it was. I think I may have mentioned to you, I do business consultant, business development, and a lot of my restaurants, I had to have a real hard sit down with them after looking at either they had a website, they didn't have a website, they had a takeout menu, they didn't have a takeout menu, there was no options to purchase online. And so had to really get them to think about using some of the services that exist that they didn't have to do it all. The Grub Hubs, the Uber Eats, and other DoorDash. These other things that could actually come in and do the deliveries for them, because their biggest thing was, I don't have the manpower. But now, if they don't do it, they'll be left behind because people aren't leaving their house as willingly as they was. You cannot sit in a restaurant at this point. So you're either doing a delivery service, or in some instances, you're able to sit outside if you have the space for that. They even had to rethink the capacity of the building. One of the things that happened, the Y opened back up. So the gyms opened back up on Tuesday. And so, had a couple of walk-in tours of the facilities that are in my neighborhood, and then even had the opportunity. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, how you doing?
It's been way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
Way too long. I had the opportunity to go to my Y and work out a couple of days in a row, and to see how the technology has changed. So literally in front of each of the machines, there's like this plexiglass that separates you. There's spaces, 6-foot spaces in between. So they had to remove some of the equipment and put it in different places. So businesses are going to have to get on board, or they will be left behind. Technology is pivoting in a direction that, one of the other things is the smartphone. Being able to go to your local store and purchasing your items and it just be waiting for a pickup is the way that it's going now, Anthony. So if they're not adhering to the technology, they're not going to be in business very long. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of what we're dealing with right now.
No, those are some excellent points, and I'm glad that Wayne Biggs, the interim CEO of the U.S. Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, have a very good relationship with the agency. They do some good work under his leadership. I was able to work with them closely firsthand to kind of go out into the community, engage the small businesses, the local business, the mom and pop businesses, and so they've been really proactive and continue to do so. And so I'm excited he was able to take time out of his busy schedule to join us. Welcome, Wayne. Welcome to the Marketplace Show Reset and JumpStart TV. My colleagues, obviously, Terry Coaxum, obviously when she was with SBA and was responsible for the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and New York region, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, my colleague, Brian Phillips, he's one of the founders and managing partner for SureUp. They're doing some great things obviously, they're based out in New England, but obviously they're part of the JumpStart Economy National Campaign. And we are really excited in terms of giving the tools the small businesses are going to need, the kind of constituents that you represent. And if you can kind of just give an overview, an overarching overview of who the EDA is, and then we can kind of get into your recent designation as an SBA lender, and obviously the webinar you just had with the SBA on the EIDL loan as well. So welcome to the program.
Great, thank you for having me, Anthony, and hi guys, Terry. And
hello.
Brian.
Hey.
Hello.
The EDA is basically a full-fledged economic development organization, and I say full-fledged because we not only do business attraction, retention, and expansion, but we also do neighborhood revitalization, community development, and also small business financing. So we provide access to capital. We tend to be, for the most part, a lender of last resorts or a secondary lender that's known in the marketplace, where you have to be denied by a commercial institution before we can basically look at the project. So we handle quite a few startups, which many entities do not like to do because no past track record. But if you have a good business plan, we see some worth in that business, we move it forward to our board and we make a recommendation in regard to that. So we have several different loan programs, and we lend anywhere from $1,000 up to $500,000 we can guarantee. So there's a wide variety of programs. Anybody that's thinking about going into business, expanding your business, now is a good time to see us because our board has suspended the need for that decline letter, and also until March 31st of 2021, all our interest rates are fixed at 4% at closing.
Excellent.
So low interest.
That's huge.
We've removed the barrier of that decline letter, and we're available here to do whether it's direct lending from ourselves, which we do. 90% is direct lending, and 10% is probably guaranteed lending in regard to commercial institutions. What we do on the guarantee side is we use what's called the State Small Business Credit Initiative program, and we actually do financing, and we provide collateral guarantees, and we'll actually place cash in a bank to induce them to make that loan to you. So our guarantee is not just a piece of paper. Our guarantee is actually cash in bank that sits there, and what we do is it sits there for the term of the loan. So we've done quite a bit of that. We're actually now revolving that, and all of our loan programs are revolving loan programs. So any repayment we get is used to finance additional businesses. So none of our administrative costs come out of our or operational costs comes out of those particular loan funds. What Anthony was referring to is we've been redesignated as an SBA lender. So we can also do SBA guarantee loans. We've also done PPP loans. And when a lot of the commercial institutions stopped doing PPP loans, we continue doing it till the end of July to assist the small business community. So we've done roughly, I think it's 77 PPP loans for a little over $500,000 worth of through that program. And we're now moving into other areas. The SBA EIDL loan is a direct loan from SBA. It's a economic injury disaster loan, and the acronym is EIDL. And that's available for businesses that have suffered some sort of economic injury as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's done directly through SBA. We do not handle the EIDL loans, but we did handle PPP, and now we can also do SBA guarantee loans, whether it be the 7A program or the 504 program, which was the SBA brick and mortar program. So additionally, I told Anthony I couldn't come on earlier, and I apologize for that, but we were talking to the Exim Bank. So we're now trying to bring some of the Exim Bank financing programs so we can finance exports and also do insurance policies for exports. So we're working through that with Exim Bank, and we anticipate that we'll be able to do those in the very near future, which will come in very handy as this South Shore trade zone is making its way through the legislative process as we speak. So we're excited about that also.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Wayne. I think that's really incredible. Because obviously you head up the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, but this program is seen on the U.S. mainland in terms of cable on Tempo and cable television. And so what I'd like to encourage other businesses to kind of like visit your, if you will, state economic development authority. I think Terry, I guess you and I talked about resources, but obviously the economic development arm for your state or city plays an important role for connecting businesses with capital. And so as we discussed today, even though we're talking about the Virgin Islands, the principle applies across the board, across the country. And so clearly some of the things that Wayne is talking about and working with the SBA is applicable across the country with other states, if I get it out. And so I just want to share with you, Wayne, when we talked about working with the EDA with JumpStart, we are really committed to making sure. And just before you came on, Terry was kind of emphasizing where she's really pushing hard, particularly with restaurants, to understand the need to be able to operate virtually. Because if you don't have the ability or the capability to operate virtually, you're going to find yourself in that unfortunate predicament of where you're going to not be able to connect with your customers, and you're going to have limited opportunity to be able to service your customers. SureUp is one of the partners who are going to help provide those local small mom and pop businesses by giving them the means to do so. So, in particular, in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, SureUp is going to be able to talk about how their program is positioned to help the constituencies that you represent, Wayne, in terms of lending microloans, small business loans, working with your organization to say, what are the tools, what are the resources that you're going to need to assist these small businesses. Brian, based on what you heard from Wayne, are you familiar with any of the economic development agencies within your region and some of the things that they do, and in terms of how you can give us some example of what you're familiar with in your state, in your region?
Well, so certainly in our area, there are. I'm in the greater Providence, Boston area up here, and so very similar types of revolving loan funds, economic development authorities, commerce corporations, quasi-public type of entities that are there to assist the business owners, whether it's with developing business plans, consulting, microloans, and other resources. There are just tremendous resources out there. Again, it's that whole thing of leaving no stone unturned. It's plugging into the community and asking for help, right? Because the help does exist, and certainly the community and the regional banks are very good at helping point small business owners to those types of resources as well. And more specifically in talking about it's not lending, but in helping using technology to promote the core business of small businesses is a big part of what SureUp is about. And it's about members helping members, right? The employers helping their employees, the employees and individuals supporting the businesses in the same ecosystem with that buy local, think local movement to support the small business that definitely we need in the forefront of most people's minds today.
No, absolutely. I'm excited because I don't know if Terry realized it. We have I'm sure she does, but I gotta bring it out. We're having the benefit of someone who was a strong advocate at the SBA for small business, local business, mom and pop business, minority businesses. And Terry knows the territories very well because she's had the opportunity of representing the SBA and working with the different local communities within those states and territory. Terry, from your perspective and what you heard from Wayne in terms of, because obviously when you were an advocate, the EDA was not designated yet as an SBA lender, and some of the other resources. Based on what you know, being from the SBA, and based on what you know about the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, and based on your universal knowledge of some of the things we can do based on working in partnerships with the like minds like the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority.
First of all, I'm going to say congratulations on being designated as an SBA lender to Wayne. You guys have been doing a lot of great work in the territories, and this really is that next step. When we talk about resources, there's a ton of resources that exist. Brian just talked about the economic development, the corporations, and the chambers, but there's also so many more. So there's the women-owned business centers that are free of charge that small businesses can go to. They have virtual classes now, Zoom classes. They can help with financing. There's also the small business development centers, and the Virgin Islands actually has one that's a part of the University of Virgin Islands. And they have a tremendous resources as well. They can help you clean up your credit. They can help you get financing. They can help you get ready so that you can move in and pivot into that next direction. And then, of course, there's the PTAC, which is the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. And those centers can help with other opportunities. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Virgin Islands is actually, the whole island is a hub zone. And so when we were just talking to Victor in our first segment, and Victor was saying how all these opportunities, economic opportunities exist just by way of being in a specific area, being in the Virgin Islands opens you up now to actually certify and become a hub zone with your hub zone certification, which gives you the opportunity to get these set-asides, which is money that's available to all of those businesses in the Virgin Islands. So there is the hub zone set-asides. And then most importantly, we have the CDFIs, which also offers, because here in New York, Connecticut, and in New Jersey, traditional banks are sometimes hard to, especially for startups, to get a loan with them. You have to be in business for at least 1 year, and you have to show your tax returns. And so a lot of the startups have a hard time getting traditional funding. So there are the CDFIs that are available, and there are organizations, nonprofit organizations like Axiom, like Sobros, that are able to help with small business lending opportunities in the states, and they're available in all of these states. And so these are all great opportunities for resources. The economic development, the New York State has the Empire State Development that is able to help you. Also, if you go to New Jersey has the small business services that are able to help you with both funding, opportunities, technical assistance, and the same as in Connecticut. So like Anthony alluded to, there are a lot of great opportunities available to small businesses. If you go online, which again, we're going back to virtual, right? If you're able to get access online to your .gov site, you'll see tons of resources that are available. Just put in small business services, and whether it's financing or technical support, that information is available to you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Terry. Wayne, I'm not familiar with the hub zone. What are you guys doing? As Terry said, the entire Virgin Islands is a hub zone. For the viewers and listeners, what does that mean in terms of for the Virgin Islands?
Yeah, I mean, for us, hub zone is a federal designation. It's usually through a congressional type designation, and I think when the Honorable Donna Christensen was there, she did get us designated as an entire hub zone. So it frees up additional resources in regard to conducting business in various areas. I don't think we've used that hub zone designation significantly. I'd like to also, as we're talking about financing, indicate that we are also part of the opportunity zone areas.
That's right.
So there are 14 tracks that are designated as opportunity zones here in the territory. So if you're in that area and you can get financing through capital gains, there's some tax advantages for deferment of income taxes on capital gains, depending on the length of time you've left it into that investment. So there are a lot of resources, and as Terry indicated, we work very closely with the SBDC here locally. They probably do about 80% of the business plans we see. And we have very good working relationships with the office both on St. Croix and St. Thomas. So we always use them as a resource, and their services are basically free of charge in regard to that. So they provide technical and administrative help. We always also have a business incubator that we can assist and provide technical and administrative help. And then we're looking at creating an accelerator. So, I mean, we're expanding our product base. And I concur. I heard some of the conversation earlier that technology is really the way to go. I mean, I'll just use my example. Today for lunch, I ordered and I picked up at a window on the street in a restaurant, you know. So technology allowed me to just drive by, pick up, and, you know, keep going. So there's really, I did not go inside. I did not sit down. It was just all done at street level because I was able to call, pay by PayPal, and pick up and leave. So technology is the way to go. And, you know, businesses really have to adjust to this new norm and really have to integrate technology as part of their process.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brian, as we look at the landscape regionally and across the country, the idea is to try to replicate whatever we do in any given market is the standard across the board. And so within the SureUp ecosystem, and I think it's going to be paramount for us to be able to say to those small businesses, like Terry said, that are going to need that capital infusion in their business, that what we need to do, Terry and Brian, and is to be able to have a conversation with the Virgin Islands EDA, with your knowledge base, Terry, and talk about how we can sort of map out a unique approach to work in partnership with the government and their constituents in the small business community. So in the SureUp ecosystem, Brian, I don't think you and I have talked about capitalization per se, but how do you see, what do you envision in terms of how do we, from the JumpStart perspective, how we can work with other economic development authorities across the country in terms of this SureUp approach, the business model to helping businesses?
Yeah, that's a great question, Anthony, and I'm not sure what the exact answer is. I'll be honest with you. You know, sometimes relative to what we haven't verged into in SureUp is in business financing for the businesses. SureUp essentially was built as a wellness platform for employees and individuals of businesses, and as a sales promotional platform for the businesses in our ecosystem. But it first and foremost is an educational platform that's about engaging folks, educating them, and empowering them to make a difference. So I'm encouraged that it's a modular build that we have, because there is the ability to build resources specific for the business owner and build them into the platform. And so certainly, you know, with some direction from Terry and other folks and their influence, we could potentially work in some development of that to enhance the platform in that manner.
Fantastic. Wayne, in terms of the Economic Development Bank, how do you work, just for the viewers and the listeners? You talked about you're the lender of last resort, not SBA, but direct lending. If a business gets declined by a traditional conventional bank, they can then come to the Virgin Islands Economic Development Bank for as an alternative. And now that you're an SBA loan, how does those two square off with each other? Because now you have the ability to provide SBA loan as well.
Yeah, the SBA loan does not require that denial, so we can do an SBA guarantee loan straight out. So you can approach us on the first angle in regard to do that. I will say I think we take a little more risk just because of the nature of our type of business, being an economic development bank. We're not profit generated, so we're here to try to develop the economy. So we may take a little more risk than a normal commercial institution, although we do follow all the underwriting protocols. But if you're an entity that has been declined by a bank because you've had a good business plan, let's say a startup, for instance, we can take a look at that startup and we can do direct lending with that decline letter. If you have a good business plan, if your projections look realistic, we're willing to take that risk and get you in business, get some people employed, and move it along. We're also moving along with technology, and we're basically moving to an online platform. So we're now developing all of our forms online, so they'll be web-based. So you can fill out your loan application online and submit it online. This COVID pandemic and working from home, working remotely has taught us that, we have to transition more into technology. We're also using an app now that's called Startup Space. Not sure if anybody's necessarily familiar with that, but it's a regional app that provides resources to businesses. So we're now building out the resource portion for the Virgin Islands. So again, we're now integrating a lot more technology into our process, and we're hoping that we can see more and more develop as we go along. But yeah, we're available, and we have monies available to lend. So we do loans from farmers and fishermen to high-tech businesses. So everything in between. We're here to develop and diversify the economy as best we can, and we're here to assist the people of the territory.
Yeah, Terry.
one of the things that you keep saying, Winnie, that I'm so happy to hear is there's a plan. Right? You keep talking about this business plan. And so because I teach business at Medgar Evers College, and because I also am a business development specialist, one of the things that I think is very important for our listeners to hear today is that you have to have a plan. You have to have a direction. You have to know where you're going. And one of the things that you have reiterated a couple of times is that having a plan, having realistic projections, understanding what your business really is about is how you're going to get the additional resources. Because if you don't know what to ask for, because you don't have a plan in place, then it's going to be hard to get the resources that you need. And so what I'll encourage the listeners to do today is, one, to have a business plan. And more importantly, because of the digital age, because of everything that's going on with COVID, have a marketing plan, have a digital marketing plan in place so that you are able to continue to do business. Even if it's not a brick and mortar business, folks can still order your wares. They can still, be a part of your conferences via Zoom. They can be a part of your platforms on other different things like Facebook Live. So have a plan in place so that you'll know how to pivot. You'll know what direction to go into. I think that's very important because you mentioned it a couple of times. I just wanted to piggyback on having that business plan, having that marketing plan, understanding the direction of your business and where you're going is going to be important, especially now.
Absolutely, Terry. Absolutely. And so we've come to the end of the segment on focus on small.
That was quick. That was so fast.
We're joined by our colleague, the executive producer of the Caribbean Food and Travel Network, Jessica Kyler, and she has a local restaurateur coming up, a specialized restaurateur, and she's also a doctor as well. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm going to be looking forward to Jessica have her conversation with Dr. Mika McIntosh on the food segment, which is the food, restaurant, and hospitality segment of the JumpStart Marketplace Reset Show. But before we let you go, Wayne, let me just say that I'm excited about what, like you said, that you are now retooling your website where people are able to go to streamline their process and do what they need to do without physically having to come into your office. And so we're looking forward to the role, JumpStart can play in providing the additional resources and tool that it can enhance your deliverables to these constituents. Because at the end of the day, mitigation, sustainability, but ultimately is the prosperity of these businesses. And we believe under the JumpStart umbrella, there is just a basket full of different things that we can bring to working with the U.S. Virgin Islands EDA to help local businesses, small businesses, especially when you have, like you said, you got money to make available to these businesses. So I want to thank you. Any closing remark, Wayne, in terms of before we let you go?
He's on mute.
All right, go ahead.
He's still on mute.
You're still on mute, Mick. You're still on mute.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me on. We've started that conversation, Anthony, in reference to JumpStart. I'd like to continue that conversation. We are retooling, as Terry indicated. We're also creating our own digital marketing plan. So as an authority, we realize that digitally is the way to go. So we're not only doing that for the local community, but also as we try to attract businesses from the international and mainland community. Any assistance we can get in reference to providing resources to small businesses in the territory, we're happy to entertain and look at. And definitely we think Marketplace and the JumpStart group can definitely play a part in assisting us. So we'll continue the conversation with you. And again, thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne. Good to see you again.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah. Take care, Wayne. Thank you.
Right, thanks. All right. That was Wayne. That was Wayne Biggs. He's the interim CEO of the U.S. Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority. which has several units under the economic development arm. They're responsible for really being the engine of the economy, whether you are doing business outside of the territory and have decided to domicile here in the territory, or if you're a homegrown business. If you're a homegrown business and you were created locally, the EDA is an important partner in that regard. And so we're looking forward. I'm really excited because Terry's worked so closely with the various agencies as it relates to small businesses, local businesses, creating job opportunities. And I'm really excited about, obviously, the fresh, unique approach of ShoreUp and how ShoreUp brings those solutions to the table. Guys, we have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Jessica's intro. And I believe I see her guest. Her guest is there. Let me just kind of bring the guest up a little bit. She's there, Dr. Micah McIntosh.
Hello.
So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to say, I'm going to let my colleagues, if they choose to stay on the program, that's their choice. I'm not going to take for granted that. But I'm looking forward to the interview. But I'm going to play the intro for Jessica's segment.
Brian, it's very good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Okay.
Yep. Take care.
I'd like to introduce Dr. Micah McIntosh, who is one of my good friends who our kids actually went to summer camp. Remember that? Years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like the promo that we just showed was, God, it seems like changed like years ago. Wasn't it, Micah?
Yeah, it's been a while. Robert will be 8 this Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome you to the show, the Reset JumpStart TV. And introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and what you do. And I know who you are personally because of our kids. And Micah runs a Better Day Cafe at Beeston Hill, which is one of the gourmet, organic, vegetarian cafes who caters to Whole Foods, correct?
That's perfect.
Yes.
That was perfect. Thanks for having me, Jessica.
Sure.
Thank you for having me. Yes,
Yeah.
You summed it up really well. I am a chiropractor and doctor of natural medicine and integrative medicine. And when I came home, I really wanted to change the tide of the direction that we were going in terms of our health and sustainability at home. And so that's what I set out to do. My mom retired to come on board with me. And so I feel very blessed to have her as my partner in this venture. But we opened up a restaurant to cater to our patients because we work on healing chronic disease for patients that have not had much success with conventional medicine. And it kind of grew from there. We set up shop in Beeston Hill because I had been an intern and turned doctor under Dr. Menzies, who owned the Beeston Hill Health and Racket Club, as it was called a long time before I was even born, the original owner of Beeston Hill, now Beeston Hill Health and Wellness. And so because we were in that place, it really just grew organically. Everyone wanted the food, not just our patients. We all need to be eating healthier. And my mom is such a master in the kitchen that she can make anything taste good. Vegan food, we do pescatarian, and it grew from there, Jessica. So now we do meal prep We also do lunch specials, and we do a lot of juicing. We're a juice bar, and we are just expanding and really responding to what the community needs. So our next venture is to start growing as much as we possibly can of what we feed you. So we're now starting a farm in the rainforest, and so we're just elated at how it has transformed and how many lives we're able to join everyone on their journey to health and wellness, which spills over into spirituality and ending up doing what we really want to do in this lifetime, taking our missions in life seriously when we have the energy from the foods that we should be eating.
So tell me about your spot in the rainforest. This is new to me.
Yeah, so I feel so blessed. I inherited 2.5 acres of beautiful land just up Mahogany Road, not too far in. And we are going to do fruits, vegetables, and honey. We're going to do a fruit, vegetable, and honey farm. And we're going to build tiny houses and use solar power. And we're just going to be as easy as we can on Mother Earth and try to reinvigorate her. You know, we have a lot of guts in the rainforest that's not flowing anymore. Only when we have a hurricane, the water is flowing. We have springs here that we should be able to partake of. So we wanna impact the water industry, the food industry, and just have enough food for all of us to eat.
Right.
And if there's any left over, then we can, start talking about exporting. But we're so blessed here with our weather, our constant sunshine, and fresh air. So we really want to capitalize on that and show people that there's a different way to live. We don't have to be stressed out and taking up more space than we need. It's really about what goes on inside of us. And so if we fuel ourselves well and give back to the earth, then we'll be blessed in abundance.
So do you think from the farm would be more farm to table at the cafe? Will you have an abundance to go to the market with? Like how do you feel about that?
We're going to do both. We're going to, of course, have fresh food for the cafe and for our meal prep and for our lunch specials, but we're also going to go to market. We're already in talks with agriculture and they're ready for us. So we're going to do both. The amount of food that can be cultivated on just a tiny piece of land is amazing. And so we're going to use every piece that we can. That's why any structures that we put on there are going to be really tiny so that we leave most of the land so that we can have food. Our fruits are going extinct here. We barely have the fruits that were in abundance when I was young are no longer. You're lucky if you get a soursop.
Soursop?
Yes. I don't know if you've ever had what we call a plum satyr or a golden apple, but I don't see any of those trees anymore. So we really want to revitalize the fruit family here in St. Croix, and then keep in abundance the vegetables that we're accustomed to that we tend to run out of on a daily basis. So we just want to add to what we already have going and make it accessible for everyone. We want to have the means to feed St. Croix. I think I lost you, Jessica. Jessica, can you hear me?
Dr. McIntosh, yeah, we lost Jessica.
Oh,
yeah.
There you are. I can see you and hear you now.
Yes, this is Anthony. I think Jessica's camera froze up, so I'm sure she's going to call back in.
Okay.
And so I've been really. I think she's back now. Hold on a sec. Let's just bring her back on the air now.
Okay. There she is.
I'm back. But you know what was funny? Because they always do like the guava berry festivals. But do we even have guava berries here anymore in St. Croix?
We do. We do. My friend, was it Alfio? Have you had Alfio's pizza, by the way? Do you know Alfio?
Yeah.
Alfio bought us some guava berry last season, but he was the only one that I knew. And yeah, he brought us a few bags. So he had it when it was in season, but I don't know of anyone else. I'm sure there is, but not in abundance like it should be. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So what is in harvest right now? Is it avocados?
Avocados are we're just coming to the end of mango season, canap season. Yeah, so avocados are definitely abundant now, but we still have a lot of people shipping in avocados from different islands, from what we call down island. So we we have some work to do. But for now, we support. Oh, can you still hear me, Jessica?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but for now, we are definitely supporting the farmers that are already doing the work. So we buy as locally and as fresh as possible. And of course, for the ones that we can't get on island, we shop at Quality. And we do a lot of juicing, and that helps so much. Juicing is something that everyone can do to impact their health right away. And we juice every day. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday upstairs at the Beeston Hill Gym. And so we have everything you need if you want to eat well, if you want to drink well, if you want to heal, if you want to have more clarity, more energy to do what you have to do throughout the day, to really have patience with our kids. What we eat and what we drink really impacts how our day goes. And that's why we're called A Better Day. We want you to have a better day. And then that multiplies into having a really great life by your end.
And I love the way that your mom juices.
Sorry?
I love the way that your mom juices. She does a lot of the juices, right?
Yes.
Yes. So she puts them in jars, and you go in there, and I think I have what was her watermelon? What was it? Cucumber?
The melanting.
Oh,
the melanting.
Yeah.
The melanting. I like that. The melanting. I like that. I got a question, Jessica.
Yeah.
In the past, and forgive me if you said it, I probably missed it. In terms of the natural way the food is prepared, certain types of food, I've been told they're called superfood. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Would you categorize? Did we lose her? Oh, this is. Would we put your type of food in the superfood category?
Absolutely.
We use a lot of superfoods.
Yep.
And we also use really rich oils. When we use oils, you're not going to get any vegetable oil, canola oil, processed oil that's going to really wreak havoc on your cells. So we use grapeseed oil, coconut oil, avocado oils. We're really conscious about what we put in your food, because you're going to feel it. You're going to know. If you're eating somewhere all the time and you're always lethargic afterwards, you need a nap, you don't have, a burst of energy, then we really have to start questioning, well, what are we eating? If it's making us, food is supposed to keep us going. That's our fuel, right? We're not like plants where we're rooted in the ground and we have all the minerals and nutrients that we need. We have to fuel ourselves. So that food has to be, our bodies have to be able to recognize what those things are.
What role is superfood playing? And I guess this is like a rhetorical question, but I got to ask you, I'm a novice. What role is superfood playing in the defense of building the immune system against COVID-19? I hate to bring in the COVID-19 stuff, but obviously what we're eating, how does that help with the building of the immune system in your line of work? And I would imagine you must be doing great business because people are trying to build the immune system.
Yes.
Am I off?
That's a great question, Anthony. You are spot on.
Okay.
It has everything to do with our immunity. It has everything to do with our immunity. We have a juice called Real Immunity that we've always had. It was one of our first juices in the line because really before we can do anything to impact our health, we have to make sure that we're taking out what we need to take out. We can't be feeding ourselves good on, through the left side of our mouths and then taking in a lot of, bad things on the right side. And so we have an immunity concoction. It's cold pressed and it's really potent, and you take that as a shot. And then we have the more gentle juices that always constantly cleans out the body. And it really is not, it's not something that we should have to have a conversation about if we're doing the right things. So we don't need to wait for something like COVID-19 to hit us to live that way, because it really is about, no matter what virus it is, I don't care how strong that virus is, that bacteria, it is how hospitable is our bodies to this offender. My body is not hospitable to COVID-19. So even if I breathe it in, no matter what, we have to make our environment in our bodies inhospitable to anything that wants to take root. And if for some reason we're under stress at that time, because that will lower our immune system too, if we're doing all the right things and we're eating and drinking all the right things and we're under constant stress, we don't like our job, we're in bad relationships, that will help to manifest a bug that you catch. We don't really catch anything, right? That's some language that we need to stop using. Then it will take root in us. And if you're eating the right things and drinking the right things, then you'll be able to kick that virus, kick that cold, kick whatever it is right away. You won't be sick for more than a few days.
Jessica, would you allow me to throw in one more question, please? I couldn't resist. We talked about how some of the biggest casualty in the pandemic with this COVID-19 are restaurants, right? Restaurants are getting hit so hard, right? And so I'm just curious to know how impactful has this pandemic been to your business as a restaurant? But the fact is, you can kind of counter that because you're not just any kind of restaurant. You're in the superfoods business.
Exactly.
And so your ability to connect and stay connected with your customers, because your customer need what you have in these times. And so how impactful has the COVID-19 been to your business, where we're seeing a lot of restaurants getting just shuttered all over the place?
That's absolutely right, Anthony. It's absolutely right. Luckily, we have always been thoughtful about how you feel and how you operate throughout the world, how you move, how you think, what you do, what you're impacted by emotionally, spiritually, physically. So we have not had to pivot at all, because we're already, like you said, delivering superfoods to you. We're already delivering those really fresh juices that keeps your blood clean. We're already doing all of those things. And so we've really been blessed that we have a community that already trusted us with their health. And so we've been able to keep our community well. Everyone that we know in our community has really been thriving through this time. And I hesitate to say this, but we needed the downtime. We had been so busy and going because of the growth of the business, but there really were some things we needed to take care of in the back of the house, and so we really have utilized this time to really make sure that when things open back up, we are on the trajectory that we want to be on. We have time to set up the farm, to really think about you, about serving you best. So we're working on our website. Now we actually have a shopping cart feature, which I've never seen. I'm really proud of for a restaurant. You can go and shop for your different plates. You can go onto the website and
Dr. Micah, lost her.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, hold on.
But Anthony, isn't that cool that you can go on the website and like shop?
Yes, you can go and shop. You can pick up your CMOS. You can pick up a vegan plate. We have our menu for the whole week up on our website all the time, so you know what we're cooking, what pescatarian meal we're cooking on Thursday and Tuesday, what vegan meal we're cooking those days, when our juice fast is, what juices are included in the fast, and you can really customize your package, and then you come to us and we have everything ready for you. What juices you want, what meals you want, what supplements you want. We also are really picky about our supplements. The supplement industry is really off the chart right now, and selling a lot of things that are, you know,
Dr. McIntosh, we can hear you, but we can't see you. You disappeared.
Anthony, we should go. We should do a month. You and I. No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Of course. I don't know how long I'm gonna last, but
it's easier than you think.
Right, Dr. McIntosh, we can do it, right? Anthony and I, and then we'll report to you in 30 days, and you know.
Absolutely. Lucky's laughing. It's, you know what?
I really need. I'm on the COVID 10, so I need, you know.
No, I'm just to be transparent. You know, I for me, I think, right, if forced to, I think I can become a vegan, right? And I can do that whole. I'm a carnivore. And so I'm laughing only because I'm a carnivore. I'm like, oh my God, you know.
You know something? It's easier. It's easier than you think. Like, we have really changed the minds and the hearts and the bodies of a lot of men who claim to be carnivore when they start with us. I mean, these are bodybuilders in the gym all the time.
That's you, Anthony. You're a bodybuilder. You're pumping iron.
Thank you so much, Dr. McIntosh. I'm not sure what happened to your camera, but we still can't see you.
We lost you. But we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun.
Yes. So Anthony and I are going to go on the 30-day challenge.
And you know what? We actually do it week by week so that it's more digestible, you know? Yeah, I know. So you can start with a week, Anthony. It's not too intimidating, and we feed you well. It's not it's not a cleansing process where you're like starving. We don't like that. We like to feed you. It's just the right thing, so you'll never be hungry with us.
Okay, but check this out, right? And in the spirit of transparency, right? You know, I'm trying to gain weight.
Yes.
You know.
And it makes you healthy, Anthony. It makes you healthy.
No. I get the health part. No. I'm not disputing at all. I'm saying I've lost a lot of weight. Okay. And I'm trying to build back. Body mass.
Okay.
And so I don't want to shock my body. I don't want to shock my system.
Micah, what are your suggestions for Anthony regarding that issue? Like, if he eats clean, does he go to the gym 4 days a week?
Building muscle is so much easier on plant protein because it frees your body up from having to detox all of the unusable parts of the meat that our bodies really don't even recognize, much less use. So it puts less strain on our bodies, and you can still keep your calories up, Anthony. You know, once you're eating and training, you will gain weight. There are a lot of examples of vegans that have really stellar muscular bodies. So it's definitely doable. Meat makes you it makes you fat, but it doesn't build your body. Yeah, so there you go.
We'll see you
Anyway.
next time, Anthony.
Whatever.
You can do it, Anthony. We got you. Whatever your goal is, we help you get there with the right way. So you'll feel great. Yeah. You won't just look great, you'll feel great too.
All right, so we're gonna have to close out the show. Jessica, apologize. Thank you for allowing me to throw in a question or two with your guests this afternoon.
Of course. Micah, Dr. Micah McIntosh, thank you so much. I cannot wait to come see you at the gym. Saturday, located in St. Croix at Beeson Hill Gym upstairs. Whole foods, organic, mom's juicing up there, and you have juices ready to go when you walk out of there. So thank you so much, Micah. Is there anything you want to say to close out the show with?
I'd just like to tell you how you can reach us, because if you text, call us, or go on the website before you come, you won't have any wait time. So you can find us at abetterdayllc.com /menu, or you can go on the detox and meal prep page, or you can text us at 340-244-0333.
Thank you so much for your time.